Psalm 26, verses 4 through 7. And it reads, I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. I will wash my hands in innocency. So I will compass thine altar, O Lord, that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. If you would allow Pastor Fran to use for a subject message on today, I would like to use both sides of standards. Both sides of standards. And standards are the governing principles that we operate by. Oftentimes when we think about standards, we most of the time only look at standards one-dimensionally. Oftentimes we will only look at standards and we pay more attention to what we will do, and we pay less attention to what we won't do. And whenever we do that, we can still produce an imbalance in our character, or we can produce an imbalance in the image that we are trying to portray. I'm going to say that again so we can be clear on that. Anytime we pay more attention to what we will do and less attention to what we won't do, it causes an imbalance in the character and or the image that we are trying to portray. Having standards of what you will do, but do not establish the standards of what you won't do, will still produce character imbalance. Did somebody just catch that? Having standards of what you will do, but not establishing standards of what you won't do, will still produce character imbalance. This is why some people are comfortable cussing at home, but they won't cuss at church. Can somebody just say imbalanced? Even in relationships, we see many imbalances. I will pay the bills, but still yet I will talk to you any kind of way. Can somebody just say imbalanced? You will tell me that you love me, but still yet you can't quit talking to other men and women. Somebody just say imbalanced. I will drink with this group, but I won't drink with that group. Can somebody just say imbalanced? And I think at this point you have an idea of where I'm going. So basically you shift. And you know, if we put it in terms, you two people, you two people, at least two people. You are at least two people. You have a standard over here, but then you have another standard over there. And then what happens is we start to have character imbalance. Watch this. And when there is an imbalance in our standards, it is there where you will find a lot of excuses while something is done. Ooh, I want you to think about that for a minute. Whenever there is an imbalance in our standards, there you will find a lot of excuses being made about why something was done. I just want you to think about that. You can think about it for yourself, or you can think about a situation that you have been in. And you notice that sometimes people have a reason at why they do wrong. Come on. Has anybody else ever experienced that? We have a reason, and we've heard reasons at why they've done wrong. And then if we are not careful, we will start to accept those excuses of why somebody did wrong. And then that leads us to be, watch this, anchored in toxic relationships. Woo. And it is there where you find those excuses where you will see that the image gets distorted. Have you ever looked at somebody and you saw that they was one way over here and they was another way over there, and then when they came to you, you struggled with which side to believe who they were? Can anybody else relate to that? They're here over here. Watch this, and let's go to something that we can all relate to. On social media, they are the heroes. Come on. On social media, it looks like everything in their life is going well. But in reality, you see a whole nother side of their life. And then you be wondering which one is real. You know which one is real. Come on. You really know which one is the real one, but you just be sitting there sometimes like, I don't know why they did that. Because you be knowing it's not the truth. Come on. Can somebody just say imbalanced, 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 imbalanced? And we see that, and they're trying to, the image gets distorted in those times. Watch this. If they cannot see the true image of who you are, you need to let it be, because they either close their eyes or either they look the other way. I'm going to say that again. If they cannot see the true image of who you are, it needs to be because they have either closed their eyes or looked the other way. Do not let it be because the image was distorted within your control. Woo. So if they cannot see the image of God in your life, let it be because they intentionally turned their head or closed their eyes. Do not let it be because of something that you did or because of something that you are doing. And I believe that we have a body and an assembly of people who want people to see God in their life. Can I just get a witness of that? If you want people to see God in your life, and watch this. If they do not see God in your life, do not let it be because you gave them a bad image. And oftentimes what we don't understand is that the standards that we operate by can give people the wrong image. And now we're going to move into our text, because David is going to give us the both sides of standard. And as we look into our text, David starts out Psalms 26 by saying all the things that he did. And he did not elaborate on the things he did. And in verses 1 through 3, David is talking about the things that he did. And David said, I have walked in mine integrity. But I want us to look at this. David spends more time. David is getting ready to show us balance now, because David is not stuck on what he will do. And oftentimes, watch this, we get stuck and we get caught up on what someone will do for us. Catch this. We get caught up and we get stuck on what they will do. Watch this. But how many of us know most of the pain that we have experienced in relationships, whether it be family, whether it be intimate, regardless, whether it be work related or whatever, it is because we got stuck on what they did. And we did not pay attention. Watch this. We did not pay attention to the other side. And oftentimes the other side is displayed when there is a disagreement. Ooh, I know what you'll do for me when you're happy with me. But now I have to be just as concerned about what you will do when you're not happy with me. Oh God, somebody catch that. Have you just ever been thrown off because all you have ever experienced was what they would do for you when they were happy, when you cooked, when you cleaned, when you did whatever that you did for them? But it wasn't until that I couldn't do something, or I didn't agree with you, that I saw another side of you. Come on. Has anybody ever experienced that other than Pastor Fran? That just shook me. I was surprised. Have you ever been surprised at what they will say when they're mad at you? Come on. Have you ever been surprised at what they will do? Watch this. When you ain't feeling me. Come on. Have you just ever been shocked and almost left in tears because, watch this, it seemed like they forgot about all the standards that they once had. They have standards in what they will do, but they do not have standards in what they won't do. Watch this. Because if my whole objective is to show you that I love you, watch this. If my whole objective is to show you that I love you, then I have to be just as balanced in the things that I will do as well as the things that I won't do. Did somebody just catch that? That's going to help a lot of us in relationships, whether it be family, whether it be, intimate wise, whatever it is. It's going to help us in the workplace. Come on here. It's going to help us most of all and first of all in our own personal life. Because oftentimes when we are trying to convey something to somebody, we tell them all of the things that we will do because I want you to know just how much I love you. But I want to have a mature people and a mature body of Christ that does not only focus on what you will do. I want you to pay just as much attention, like David is going to show us in our text, to the things that you won't do. Watch this. Because if my message is to convey that I love you, watch this, then I have to be just as balanced in the things that I will do as well as I am in the things that I won't do. Have we ever thought about that? If we can just get a wow moment right there, because oftentimes we are only focused on the things that we will do. Because we think it's the things that we do that conveys that we love them. But how many of us know sometimes it's the things that you won't do that really conveys the message that you're trying to tell somebody? Woo. Yeah, I know you love me because you will go to work and you will pay the bills. But do you love me enough that when things ain't on the up and up, I'm still the only one that you look at. I'm still the only one that you will touch. I'm still the only one that you will call. Woo. I'm still the only one that you will give that time, space, and attention to. I know you love me, but watch this. When I made you mad, you won't go out and eat dinner with somebody else. I know you say you love me when things are going good, but when life has gotten so busy and it seems like, our relationship is not where it once was, and it seems like there's confusion, chaos, and, just turmoil right now, can I still trust that I'm the only person that you're talking to? I'm the only person that's getting your time, space, and attention. I know you said that you love me and you pay the bills and that's why you go to work. But then watch this, when I make a mistake, or when I do something wrong, or when I do something that you don't like or you don't agree with, do I have to now worry about all the things that you're going to say about me? All the hurtful things that you're going to say about me. I'm everything to you now but a child of God. Come on here. Those two things, watch this, and the point that I'm trying to make in that is that when we are, watch this, when we have true standards, and when we are willing to govern ourselves by those standards, it's not only what you will do, it's what you won't do. Come on here. Oh God. So watch this. Even when I'm mad at you, even though I feel like saying certain things to you, watch this, I do not ever want you to be confused with what I really feel and what I really think about you. So therefore, in that space and time, even though I'm upset with you, I cannot say everything that comes out. Oh God, did y'all just catch that? I cannot do everything that I feel. I cannot say everything that I feel, because I'm never trying to put you in a position that I'm trying to tell you something other than I love you. Come on. Oh my God. This is why I won't do certain things. This is why I won't engage in certain things, because I never want to send more than one message. If I'm not trying to, watch this, say it, then watch this. There'll be times I can't do it. Ooh, oh God. Tanya's my sister. And everybody knows about siblings not always agreeing. And even if Tanya does something that I don't like, I cannot use that moment to convey anything other to her than I love her. Come on. So sometimes, even in my anger, I have to be quiet. Even in my frustration, I have to be quiet. Because even though I may not like what she's doing at the time, and what she's doing is producing another feeling in me, when I really think about the depth of our relationship, I don't even want that moment to bear any weight on how much I really love her. Come on here. Did y'all catch that? And oftentimes what happens to us is when we don't have our standards and when we are not governing ourselves by those standards, this is where we have an imbalance. This is why anything will come out of our mouth based off how we feel, even when it's not conveying the message that we're really trying to convey. Whew. I got to catch that. So in our text, again, verses 1 through 3, David is starting out and he's telling us how he has walked in integrity and how he has walked upright by God. David is so confident in his relationship and his lifestyle. If you look at the text, David even tells God, he said, examine me. Whew. How many of us can be so confident in our life that we will invite God to examine our life? Oh my God, that's something to think about right there. I'm so committed to this relationship with you, God. I will invite you to examine my life, to look at my heart. Because I know I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying I'm not doing anything, but I'm not doing anything intentionally to hurt you. Whew. Catch that. That's what David is saying. He said, I'm not saying you won't find nothing, but what I can tell you is that you're not going to find me out here just maliciously and intentionally doing stuff that's going to convey anything other than the fact that I love you. Oh God. But when we get to verse 4, watch this. Now we're going to see the balance of what David is saying. Because in verses 1 through 3, David is telling us what he's done. But if you look at it now, David in verses 4 through 7, David is going to tell us now all the things that he won't do, or some of the things that he won't do. And if you'll bring that up for us, watch this. Look at what David is saying. David said, because I'm trying to help the people of God be balanced in their relationship with God. Because watch this. Sometimes, how many of us have ever told God, God, I'll serve you for the rest of my days? How many of us have ever told God all the things that we will do? But now I want to bring a balance to that. How many of you have told God the things that you won't do? Come on. Whew. Just think about that for a minute, because oftentimes we think conveying to God and telling God that we love him is just telling him the things that we will do for him. But when we are truly balanced in our standard and in our relationship with God, watch this. We not only have things that we will do, but now we have to put focus and attention on the things that we won't do. So here it is in our text. We see that David is putting focus and intention. Watch this. He knows what he will do. But David said, in order for me to be balanced, in order for me to really tell God and show God how much I love him, I now have to focus on what I won't do. Woo! David said, I cannot leave that part of my life undealt with. Because the moment that I put my focus and my attention on what I won't do, it helps solidify my standards. In verse 4, David said, I have not sat with vain persons. Catch this. Now look at, he's fast forwarding to what he won't do. David said, neither will I go in with dissemblers. David said, look, God, there are some things that I just won't do. He's not saying I won't do them because I can't do them. David is telling us that he has the opportunity to do these things. He has the chance to do these things. But we see David's standards being set in place now. David said, I'm going to be balanced in this thing. David said, I'm going to look at both sides. And watch this. Whenever we will not look at both sides, we will have a tendency to lean to one side more so than we will the other side. If I lean to this side more, watch this. Look at what's going to happen to me. I can tilt and I can fall over. When I lean to this side more, I can still tilt and fall over. I got to get on my Bosu because my balance is off. Watch this. But when I stand in the middle, And when I am balanced in what I will do and what I won't do, watch this, it's harder to knock me over. Are y'all seeing this? It's harder for me to move because I'm balanced in where I'm standing. So watch this. When situations come in my life, when circumstances arise in my life, because I'm flat-footed in my standards, I have things that I will do. I have things that I won't do. I have things that I will say, and I have restrictions on things that I won't say. Come on. David said, I have hated the congregation of evildoers. That doesn't mean he hate a person. David said, I'm to the point now. David said, I won't do what they're doing. David said, I even avoid people. Oh God. David said, I avoid people who I know are not doing right. Whew. That's all David is saying. I avoid them. David said, I will not sit with the wicked. You might be like, well, if he's so saved, why come he won't? Because how many of us know that bad character corrupts good behavior? Whew. Bad character corrupts good behavior. You can be talking to somebody. Watch this. This is why you got to be careful at what you listen to and who you listen to. Oh God, because if you listen to it too much, you sometimes don't even realize that you start talking like them. Come on. Oh God. And anytime somebody tries to tell you different, you will fight it. Have you ever talked to somebody? Watch this. Have you ever talked to somebody and you're just having conversation with them? No harm, no foul. Thank you, Antonio. No harm, no foul. I'm just talking to him. Just talking to him. Just talking to him. And, you know, I talk to them constantly. And I'm going to name out some names now. Deandra is talking to Aretta. And we're just going to say that Deandra is negative Nanny. Everything that comes out of Deandra's mouth is not positive. Instead of seeing the glass half full, she sees it half empty. Instead of her seeing lemonade, she sees lemons. And Tanya is acquainted with both of them. So now we have Deandra, Tanya, and Aretta. Tanya knows Deandra. She don't talk to Deandra a lot because she cannot deal with Deandra's stance on things and her position on things. But how many of you know that when Aretta spends so much time talking to Deandra, Tanya never has to come in contact directly with Deandra. Tanya can come in contact with Deandra through Aretta. Come on here. Oh God. And sometimes we're not even conscious that we are coming in contact with other people through other people. And something just goes off in Tanya. And Tanya says, this don't sound like Aretta. It sounds like Deandra. I know I hear. Has that ever happened to anybody? I know I hear Aretta, but it sounds like Deandra. And this is what David is saying in the text. David is saying, this is why I have to manage who I sit with. I have to manage the people that I'm around. Because it can cause me to start talking like them. It can cause me to start acting like them. And then what happens in that is that people don't see what I'm really trying to convey. They don't see the God that I'm really trying to convey. They don't see the God that I'm really trying to portray because now I have sat with dissemblers. And I've sat around people and I've listened at people's conversation to now where I talk like them. Come on. I act like them. And so this is one of the reasons that why David is putting emphasis on this. And bring me back, Antonio. This is one of the reasons that David is putting emphasis on this, because David said, I don't want us to be in a position to where we are one-sided and we can tilt one way or another. David said, I'm telling us this and I'm sharing this information so we can be balanced in our relationship with God. We can be balanced. Watch this. I don't want people to know when I'm with the church folks or when I'm with believers, I don't want them to know how, I want them to know that God is good. But then when I'm around people who ain't doing the God talk, I'm talking like they're talking. Come on here. Somebody just say imbalanced. Imbalanced. With the church crowd and with the believing crowd, I'm talking about how God can do it. But then with the unbelieving crowd and the crowd who ain't really there yet, I'm talking about how I don't know how I'm gonna come out of this. I don't know how God is gonna do this. And now I'm in turmoil. I'm in conflict because now, watch this. I've compromised my standards. And anytime you cannot be who God has called you to be, you need to check your standards. You need to also check the people that you are around. Ooh. Because watch this. If you got two people that are telling you their situation, or you're talking to them about your situation, and your story cannot be the same, there's something wrong with that. Somewhere. And David said, keep going on in the text. David said, I will wash mine hands in innocency. I will compass thine altar, O Lord. Watch this. Now David is saying why he's doing all of this. David said that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. David said, there are some things that I will do. Thank you, Antonio. And there are some things that I won't do. David said, but the things that I will do and the things that I won't do, they coincide with each other, because my main objective, watch this, is to tell people and to show people and to live to people how good God is. David said, the purpose of my life is to reflect the power and the goodness of God. So there are some things that I will do, and there are some things that I won't do. How many of us have ever really thought about both sides of standards? Because most of the time we're only taught and we're conditioned to only think of one side. We only think about what we will do. I'll go to church. I'll pay my tithes. I'll go to prayer. I'll come to Bible study. I'll come to life support. I'll do all of those things. Watch this. But then through the course of the week, I have different standards that I operate by. I still read my word, but I'm having conversations that don't actually convey how much I really trust God, how much I really love God. I'm listening to a whole bunch of mess that's contending and fighting with what I'm really believing God for. On one hand, I'll do this. And oftentimes the misconception is we want people to just value our message by what we will do. Woo. But I also need to know what you won't do. Woo. Oh God. I need to know that you won't cuss me out and hurt my feelings when you're mad at me. I need to know that you won't say certain things to me. I need to know you won't do certain things to me. Are you balanced in your standards? And the same way we want people to be balanced in their standard to us, we need to be balanced in our standards with God. Come on here. Because if I will not do it here, then I don't need to do it there. I just want to ask you the question. What are the things that you won't do? Whew, oh God. In order to show God that you love him, what are some of the things that you won't do? Will you keep those words from coming out of your mouth? I know you will come to church. But what are the things that you won't do? What are some of the things that you say, I could do them, but I won't do them because it will convey to God, it will show God something different other than what I intend. Because my heart's desire is to show him that I love him. But in order to truly show him and communicate to him that I love him, there must be some things that I'm willing not to do. Whew. And some of us don't have a problem coming to church because coming to church is traditional. Coming to church is something that we were brought up to do. Just like in relationships, we get excited when he or she will pay the bills. We get excited when he or she will cook us our favorite meal. Real barbecue chicken, macaroni and cheese, collards, cabbage, string beans, and Jiffy cornbread. We get excited when they'll do that. But watch this. You got to convey that same message. Because if those are the things that you're willing to do to tell them that you love them, there must be some things that you're willing not to do to let them know that you love them. Come on here. There are some things that I could say to you, but I won't do it because it might tell you that I don't love you. And I never want you to feel like I don't love you. Oh, God. There are some things that I could do. I know, babe, you've been busy and we haven't been able to spend time together like, we used to. But watch this. What I'm not willing to do is go outside of my covenant relationship. Come on here. I'm not willing to go outside of my marriage. I'm not willing to call you out of your name. I'm not willing to call you stupid. I'm not willing to call you ignorant. I'm not willing to call you dumb. I'm not willing to pick up the phone and talk to somebody else to make me feel better. Because watch this, sometimes the things that I do that make me feel better are the very things that I'm doing to hurt the person that I say I love. Come on, did y'all catch that? And we never want to find ourselves in that position with anybody else and or God. And oftentimes, if we're not careful, we are doing things that make us feel better, but they are things that hurt God. Ooh, come on here. That we're doing things that make us feel good, but they are the very things that convey a different message to God. And this is what David is saying to us. David said, if you really are trying to convey to God that you love him and that you are going to live for him, David said there are some things that you will do and there are some things that you will not do. And you have to be balanced in both of those things. In order for your message to become clear, oh God, somebody just type it over in the chat section because we're getting to close. Watch this. You want a clear message. Woo! Because anytime you have a mixed message, you no longer know what to believe. Oh God. And I never want to send God mixed messages. I never want to tell him over here that I love him, but then tell him over here that I value me more than him. And we have all been in that position, and we have all been in those situations where, watch this, we have actually conveyed to God, I love you over here, but I need to do what I want to do over here. We were sending mixed messages, and David is actually sharing this experience with us. He said, because now I'm going to give you enough information to help you be balanced that you're not sending mixed messages anymore. You just going to be in a position where you can send God a clear message. I just need for somebody to type it over in the chat section. I'm going to talk much clearer now. Whew. I'm not just going to talk much clearer. I'm going to live much clearer now. Because watch this, the things that I'm saying are going to be balanced with the things that I'm doing. So I'm only going to send one message, one message, one message, one message, one message, one message. Because when you only got one message that you are sending, watch this, then there's nothing else to get it confused with. Did somebody just catch that? Oh my God. So I'm not going to cook dinner for you and then tell you out of the next breath how low down you are when I'm mad at you. Come on. Somebody say that's a mixed message. That's a mixed message. That's a mixed message. I know. Watch this. It's the difference between being upset and then sending mixed messages. Because I can be upset with you and still convey that I love you. Come on, did y'all catch that? Because oftentimes we're not balanced in that. We think when we are upset with somebody, then we have to actually talk to them as if we are upset. No, I can tell you that I'm upset, but still convey the message that I love you. Woo! Oh my God. In my closing, I want us to understand and take this message, take this word that David is sharing with us and that God has allowed us to hear it on today. That we're going to send one message. We're going to send one message to God. We're going to send one message to the people that we love. We're going to send one message to the world that is watching us. I want God to know that I love him. But in order for God to know that I love him, I got to be balanced in the things that I will do versus the things that I won't do. I want my husband and my children to know that I love them. And even when they do things that make me upset, I'm not willing to go against my standards and send them mixed messages. I want my sister, my brother, my mother, my nieces, and my nephews to know that I love them. I want everyone at Life Meets the Word to know that I love you. And I'm not going to do anything that sends you mixed messages. Now, you might not like all the things that I do, but I'm not going to send you mixed messages. I can't help how you read it. Come on. But I do know how I'm sending it. Come on. Woo. That's a whole nother message on a whole nother, at a whole nother time. You can't help how they read it. All you're in control over is how you send it. Come on. That's why we got to be careful with intent and delivery. You calling me stupid, don't tell me that you love me. You telling me I'm no good does not convey to me that you love me. And we take this moment and we see that David is encouraging us to be balanced. Be balanced. Only convey one message to the world that is looking at your life. If you have taken on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, you can't live like the world and convey that message. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm just telling you the truth. You cannot convey both. You can't. You can't do both and convey the message of his power and his ability in your life. As we leave this message, as we close this message, this is a message for all of us to think about. How do I feel about God? That's the first question. How do I feel about God? And then when we ask ourselves that question and we answer that question, we now have to ask ourselves the next question. Am I conveying that to him? Does my life communicate to God that I love him? Does my actions, does my lifestyle tell him that? Does my lifestyle prove to him that I love him? Or am I just in my feelings and my emotions because I need a financial breakthrough? What is my life saying? And then the final question is, am I balanced in what I will do and what I won't do? Because anytime you do not have any restraints on what you will do to satisfy yourself, that's scary. And it's definitely going to cause an imbalance in the message that you are trying to convey, whether it be to God or whether it be to a person. When you don't have any restraints at what you will do and what you won't do, that's scary. And it's going to always send mixed messages.